Hi everybody and welcome to this very special extended episode of Gaz Jenkins and Friends. This episode was originally intended to be a podcast, but we thought we would combine the two. So today's guest, Michael Cosgrove, is a full-time performing arts lecturer. He is a full-time performer and he is a father of 3 children. I don't know how he fits it all in. So in this episode we talk about productions and shows and work and of course life during lockdown. So please enjoy myself and Michael Cosgrove.
I've had my hands full with my 3 kids. I've got 3 young kids, 5, 3 and Theo's just turned 1, so it's been a bit mental. Not being able to do the stuff that you want to do has been a bit hard, but actually I've managed to have more time with the kids, which has been good at times, if not a little bit testing.
So what's been the biggest change for you, do you think? The lack of routine or the stopping of performing?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for me really was I really struggled at the beginning of lockdown with that massive adjustment. It wasn't a case of just, it's just going to be for a few weeks. It was the no end. Like there was no kind of, this is how long it's going to be. It could be 12 weeks, it could be 6 months, it could be a year. And it was also not being able to just have a little rest, if that makes sense. For those parents out there, know how hard it is. But, having 3 of them and it's continuous, it's all day. And just not having that respite. I think we did that for 15 weeks in total before we ended up, having a day's break where we dropped them off with my mum and dad for a little bit.
We were lined up to appear together in Jesus Christ Superstar at the Winter Gardens in Blackpool this autumn. We've just recently had the news that the production has been cancelled, not postponed, just cancelled. No. I had loads of questions originally lined up to ask you about the show, but tell me what attracted you to that role? What attracted you to that production?
I was in the show a long time ago. When I first got into musical theatre, when I left school, there was a company in Preston called Imagine, and actually at the time, a girlfriend was auditioning for it. My girlfriend at the time was auditioning for the show. And I'd only just done a school production. I'd kind of fallen into musical theatre by accident, really. But I was nervous anyway, got through the audition, and I ended up getting in the show, and the girlfriend didn't, which didn't go down very well at all. I was understudy to Caiaphas, and I played like Leper 1 and Apostle 12, and I've always wanted to have a crack at one of the bigger roles in the show, and it came up, full enough, with the same director that I did it with last time, and I thought, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it. And see what happens, and obviously auditioned and managed to get the role, which was extremely exciting at the time, and then to have it just kind of taken out from under your feet, terrible, absolutely terrible.
Now, we've worked together a few times on various different productions over the last few years, and I've also been lucky enough to watch you on stage as well. I've seen you in Oklahoma, I've seen you in Carousel. Yeah. What do you think has been your biggest challenge, your most challenging role on stage?
Biggest challenge in a role, I would definitely say that Billy Bigelow in Carousel was my biggest challenge, but also the most joy I've had on a stage. I absolutely adored playing that part. Just because vocally it sits perfectly for me. It's that really kind of rich baritone sound. But the challenge was being able to play a likeable baddie, if that makes sense. I had to play this character that really, Billy Bigelow is not very nice. He hits his wife. He's a troubled soul. But you've got to try and make the audience kind of sympathise with you. And that was my biggest challenge, both vocally, physically, and emotionally. Coming off stage, there's been very rarely I've come off stage doing a show and I've been emotionally drained, because I had to kind of get into this place of saying goodbye to my wife and my daughter for the very last time, and he goes up to heaven at the end, and it was tough. It was really tough. And obviously the death scene, it's an emotional roller coaster playing that part.
Okay, what do you think would be your dream role? Something that you've never played before, a show that you've never done.
A dream role, apart from Jesus, obviously. Javert in Les Mis.
So let's say you have been cast as Javert in Les Mis.
Yeah.
Who else is in your dream cast?
It can be anybody. I saw Ramin Karimloo play Jean Valjean a few years ago, and he was just insane. Who else would I like to be? Sierra Bogues. I'd love to, maybe her as Fantine. So I think those two would be the ones I'd like to be on stage with. But to be honest, I'd like to be a piece of dust in Les Mis. I don't really care as long as I'm in it at some point. I'll be the red flag. Just spray me red, stick me in a stick and wave me at the back. I don't care.
Well, I'll tell you what. Do you fancy doing a song?
Yeah, let's do it.
Shall we do one from Les Mis?
Let's do one from Les Mis.
I mean, I'm no ramming Karimloo, but we'll give it a go.
You come close. Let's give it a whirl.
Valjean, at last, we see each other plain. Monsieur le Maire, you'll wear a different chain.
Before you say another word, Javert, before you chain me up like a slave again, listen to me, there is something I must do. This woman leaves behind a suffering child. There is none but me who can intercede. In mercy's name, 3 days are all I need. Then I'll return, I pledge my word, then I'll return.
You must think me mad, I've hunted you across the years. Men like you can never change a man such as you. Men like me can never change. Men like you can never change. No,
you know nothing of my life. All I did was steal some
my
bread.
duties to the law. You have no rights. Come with me, 24601. Now the wheel has turned around. Jean Valjean is nothing now.
I am warning you, Javert. I'm the stronger man by far. There is power in me yet. My race is not yet run.
His way. You know nothing of Javert. I was born inside a jail. I was born with skill like you. I am from the gutter too.
And this I swear to you tonight.
There is no place for you to hide.
Your child will live within my care.
Wherever you may hide away.
And I will raise her to the light.
I swear to you, I will be there.
So you've done some Andrew Lloyd Webber. You've done some Rodgers and Hammerstein. Have you got any composers on your list that you would love to work with, or shows of theirs that you'd love to do?
Ooh, I'd love to work with Boubil and Schönberg, obviously, with my love for Les Mis. But obviously, the really kind of relevant ones at the minute, you know, the writers of The Greatest Showman, the amazing talents that they've got on the show that they've written.
Oh, Pasek and Paul. Well, I'll tell you what, should we do a Pasek and Paul song? I mean, I know we've done this song in the past a couple of times, but let's give it another whirl. This one is from a show called Edges, and it's called Pretty Sweet Day.
Jersey Shore, last May, checking out the hotties, drinking Stellas all day.
We were tipsy.
Well, we were drunk. So when the kids shot that beach ball and nailed it in your junk,
You got pissed, you crossed the line, took one more swig and muttered, vengeance is mine.
looked at the boy and said, here's the deal, you're a little fucker, and Santa isn't real. Later on we bought 20 packs of fun dip and fed them to some birds. Then we waited 2 more hours till they pooped out rainbow-colored turds.
Which looked awesome, by the way. That was a pretty sweet day.
A pretty sweet day. A pretty sweet day. A pretty sweet day.
My sister's wedding,
Drunk again.
rating all my cousins on a scale from 1 to 10. I mean, you guys were rating, I was not. Even though my second cousin Becky's kinda hot.
Anyway, that's not the point. Remember how we found the fattest chick in the joint? We double dared you to touch your tit. Then you took her home. Buddy, way to commit. Later on you sobered up and asked if you'd been super shady. We forgave your lack of taste. I mean, how often do you sleep with a Snapple lady? Dude, you weren't gay. That was a pretty sweet day. A pretty sweet day. A pretty sweet day. A pretty sweet day. What happened to that guy? We haven't seen him since like 1992. It's like he disappeared. Dude, what happened to you?
Your girlfriend's son.
Your girlfriend's son.
Your girlfriend's son.
She totally sucks. The day that you met Rachel was the beginning of the end. It's so not cool. It's so not cool.
It's such a tool.
It's such a fucking tool. Don't you miss being our friend?
Hung out with Rachel, it was fine. We ordered shots, you ordered wine. Talked about movies starring Meryl Streep. We kicked each other under the table so we wouldn't fall asleep.
You two were talking, so unaware that we were silent, that we were there. You looked so happy, you kissed her hand. Okay, you love her, we understand. But just in case you find some time, we're going back to the Jersey Shore. And maybe for one afternoon it'll be us three like it was before.
Just consider it, okay?
That would be a pretty sweet day. A pretty sweet day. A pretty sweet day. A pretty sweet day. A pretty sweet day.
And that's it. Michael Cosgrove, thank you so much for joining me.
No problem.
Fingers crossed we will get to perform together again sometime soon.
Fingers crossed, come on.
Until then, thanks, man. I will see you soon. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and keep up to date with all future episodes.